Zalmay Khalilzad and Taliban Deputy Leader Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar signed Afghan peace deal in Doha, Qatar. U.S. Taliban sign peace deal as Afghanistan looks for end to 18-year war. U.S. Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation Zalmay Khalilzad and Taliban leader Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar sign a historic peace deal, calling for an end to 18 years of hostilities between the two. Doha, senior officials of the U.S. government and the Afghan Taliban congregated in Doha, Qatar on Saturday to oversee the signing of a landmark peace deal between America and the Taliban. The ceremony for the occasion started at around 5:45 p.m. PST, with world leaders present to see through an agreement that will see America withdraw its troops from Afghanistan after 18 years of war. A guarantee to prevent the use of Afghan soil by any international terrorist groups or individuals against the security of the United States and its allies. Provision of a timeline for the withdrawal of all U.S. and coalition forces from Afghanistan. A political settlement resulting from intra-Afghan dialogue and negotiations between the Taliban and an inclusive negotiating team of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, and a permanent and comprehensive ceasefire. In a joint statement issued on behalf of the U.S. and the Afghan government, it was announced that American forces would withdraw completely from Afghanistan in 14 months, conditional on the Taliban upholding their end of the deal. Pompeo noted that the U.S. and the Taliban had agreed to end a long-winded conflict. "We have endured decades of hostility, previous talks have faltered. The agreement we will sign today is a true testament of our actions," he said, thanking the Emir of Qatar for his assistance in the negotiations. Violence levels in Afghanistan have reached the lowest point in the last 40 years. The Taliban have demonstrated that when they have the will to be peaceful, they can be, Pompeo said. "We are just at the beginning. Furthering the cause of peace will require sacrifice by all sides. This agreement will not mean anything if we do not take concrete action on the promises made today. Keep your promises to cut ties with al-Qaeda, keep up the fight to defeat ISIS. All Afghans deserve to live and prosper without fear. The Afghanistan of 2020 is not the same as the Afghanistan of 2001. If you remain committed to negotiations with the Afghan government, we and the international community will reciprocate," he said. "The agreement is good for the nation of Afghanistan and the international community. I congratulate everyone," Taliban leader Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar said, speaking after Pompeo. "We want a positive relationship with all. We are committed to enforce this agreement and we want, as a political force, to maintain positive relationships with our neighbors and the regional and international community. The Afghan nation has been suffering for the past 4 decades and we hope that with the withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan, the nation will embark on a new and prosperous life. We all want unity and prosperity of our nation. I call on all Afghan factions to honestly and sincerely, for the establishment of a strong Islamic system, come to the negotiations," he urged. "I would like to thank the Pakistanis for their work and assistance for this peace. I will also like to thank China, Uzbekistan, Russia, Iran and other countries who supported the peace process. I hope that they will participate in the rebuilding of Afghanistan," he concluded. "Peace and blessings be upon you all." U.S. Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation Zalmay Khalilzad signed the treaty on behalf of the U.S., while Mullah Baradar signed on behalf of the Taliban. The signing ceremony was witnessed by leaders of 30 countries, including Pakistan, Turkey, the UK, Germany, Russia and Iran. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi represented Pakistan. A 6-member group of representatives of the Afghan government who are currently in Doha did not attend, as the Taliban objected to their presence at the ceremony. The Taliban had stressed that the treaty is between the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, represented by the Taliban, and the U.S. Speaking on the occasion, Qureshi said, "A new era will start if the peace agreement is implemented intelligently. But we have to see how the mistrust can be addressed. If the doubts are not addressed, then we will lose this important chance," he cautioned. As the ceremony began in Doha, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani addressed a press conference in Kabul alongside U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper to express hopes that the Doha peace deal between the Taliban and the United States will lead to an enduring peace between his government and the Taliban. Ghani welcomed the deal's condition to launch an intra-Afghan dialogue after the agreement and said that all sides should honor peace, stating that we, together with Taliban, should respect this holy wish of our nation. The Afghan president said that he had raised the demand for the exit of foreign troops as around 94% of the security operations in Afghanistan were being conducted by the Afghan National Forces. Ghani thanked the NATO countries and the U.S. government for their technical and financial assistance. He called on all present at the press conference to observe a 1-minute silence for the lives lost in the conflict. He said that the government and people of Afghanistan agreed with its international partners that there was a need for a political solution with the Taliban. The Afghan president said that evidence of the resilience of the Afghan society was that out of the 10 million displaced persons, 4 million had returned to the country. Ghani also paid tribute to Afghanistan's ulema for backing the peace agreement with the Afghan Taliban.